What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunched Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Errol, the Truth Spence. Errol Spence aims to knock out and retire Manny Pacquiao in their August showdown. As unified welterweight champion of pound and pound for pound ranked, Errol Spence looks at the stakes of his August 24 first pay-per-view bout against 8 division legend Manny Pacquiao. He admits that the opportunity of being known as the man who ended the legendary 26-year career of the Filipino icon is the first and foremost on his mind. And he states, "I do want to retire him," Spence told Morning Combat on Thursday. That doesn't mean that Spence, 27-0 with 21 KOs, is holding any malice against the 42-year-old Pacquiao, which is 62-7-2 and 39. Ahead of their PBC Fox pay-per-view clash inside the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. In fact, far from it. Spence, which is 31, told CBS Sports it's actually the respect he holds for Pacquiao for even accepting a fight against him at this point in his career that is fueling his motivation. Manny Pacquiao is an icon and a living legend. A lot of guys don't get fights like this against someone like him, Spence said. If you look at the history of boxing, there is only a couple guys who can be called living legends. This could also be his last fight, which makes it even bigger. If this is his last fight, it's probably going to be replayed for the next 100 years. So this is going to be huge. I want to retire him, but I do respect him for taking this fight and being a real fighter. He could have picked Joe Blow or somebody or an MMA fighter just to get back or to get a huge payday. Instead, he took the biggest challenge in the division. Okay, well, let me counterpunch. Errol Spence stating that he wants to knock out Manny Pacquiao, I think that would be making a huge statement. I think what Errol Spence, by knocking out Manny Pacquiao, if he can do it, it would be like Manny Pacquiao retiring Oscar De La Hoya. And I think the beating Manny Pacquiao gave De La Hoya did De La Hoya a big favor, okay? De La Hoya was one of those guys that he was really good until all of a sudden he wasn't. Okay, it was short, it was sweet. He had a great career. He was a multiple division champion. He was a golden Olympian. He did everything. He's a millionaire. He's a promoter. He did a lot of things. He did a couple albums, singing and things of that nature. So Oscar De La Hoya did well. And that fight, it was almost like a soldier's death. Okay. He made De La Hoya quit, but he did it in a way that De La Hoya can respect. Manny didn't let off of De La Hoya. He hit De La Hoya with everything that he had, and that was enough. De La Hoya quit. I think if Errol Spence is going to do that, he needs to do that with a knockout, because Manny Pacquiao is the kind of guy I think you do have to knock out. I don't think you can just beat him up round after round. I don't think you can do that, and because we've really hardly ever seen that from Manny. Even in the Mayweather fight, yeah, he lost, but he wasn't just beating up round after round. You know, Floyd just knew how to fight that a particular type of fight with Manny to avoid those type of in-house fightings and toe-to-toe and all that stuff, okay? Errol Spence, I think he needs to do that to Manny Pacquiao, because Manny Pacquiao is at an age he should have retired a couple years ago. I would have retired after the Keith Thurman fight if I'm Manny Pacquiao. But some fighters, just like warriors, they live life hard and it dies hard, okay? And the only way it ends is you got to get beat up, okay? That's the fight game. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no apologies about this stuff. It happens. The younger, stronger fighter has to take over the guy that refuses to fold. And he has to make Manny Pacquiao fold. You know, and if he does knock him out, I think that would be it. You know, I think that would be hopefully well enough so Manny Pacquiao can continue the rest of his life in his new career in politics, running for the president of the Philippines. I think he should focus on more of that than his passion, right? I know he likes what he does. And I think at the same time, Errol also made a little sharp crack or a wise crack at at Mayweather too, because Mayweather has done exactly what he said Manny Pacquiao could have done and he didn't. Who do you think he was talking about? He was talking about Mayweather, his rival, his secret Cold War rival since 2015. Okay, so I think that was Errol Spence saying what he said about Mayweather. Of course, he won't say any names, but I do think that's who he was talking about. I mean, it's obvious because that's the only person that's really doing that. You know what I mean? And then making a paycheck like Floyd Mayweather has been doing for the last few years. So Errol Spence, I think he can, if he can deal with the footwork of Manny Pacquiao. But I think that would be the best thing for Manny Pacquiao, because if you're going to beat Manny Pacquiao, don't half-ass beat him, because that's only going to allow that older guy to go back into the ring to try to prove another fucking point. If you're going to do it, do it. Okay? If he was holding back on Mikey Garcia, don't do it with Pacquiao, because that could cost you a close decision, and it only costs Manny Pacquiao more time that he doesn't really have. So if he's going to put it on Manny Pacquiao, pretty please, with sprinkles on top, put it on Manny Pacquiao. Okay? Knock Manny Pacquiao out. Send him back to the Philippines with a newfound passion for politics. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Errol the Truth Spence aiming to knock out Manny Pacquiao. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunched. Peace.